Have you managed to sort of get from behind your couch after last night?
No, I mean, I think like everybody enjoyed the outcome. Also enjoyed seeing our national team, I think, give that level of performance in such an important game as well. That maybe get overlooked at, for the bulk of that game, particularly the 90 minutes, they were excellent. And delighted for Steve, his players and his staff that they got their just rewards.
Have you sensed a sort of positive vibe in your camp this morning, just with everything that went on last night and how it finished?
I think players will be. I think even the players that aren't from Scotland, I think, recognise the significance of football within our country, and also I've probably been acutely aware, or made acutely aware, of the length of time it's been since we qualified for major tournaments. So I think that I think as always the conversation revolves around football matches anyway. So I think a game of that magnitude last night was exciting for those that watched it, even the non-Scots, and then for the Scottish lads, particularly those ones that have been involved in the squad recently. I think there's that added excitement about what lies ahead next summer.
Do you think as well, just with obviously, you've seen with the women's game, even when they qualified for the World Cup, it sort of put that domestic scene on a bigger pedestal. Do you think similar could happen in the men's game?
Well, I think our domestic game, has done tremendously well to stay as strong as it has done, despite our lack of presence at a major tournament for so long. I was lucky that I grew up at a time, through my younger years, where it was we qualified for major tournaments regularly. I was at the Euros in '96, and obviously remember well tournaments pre and post that as well. So, but I think to continue to promote your game globally in the most positive way, I think you need a successful international team as well. So I think the fact that they've qualified and deservedly so, and I think as a group of players and a manager who are worthy have been on that stage as well. I think there has been calibre of Scottish players previously in the last years that probably deserve to be in that stage as well and haven't quite managed to get there. So I think it's undoubtedly it's a major boost for our game as a whole.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you say a couple of weeks ago that you've perhaps got joint allegiances in your house between England and Scotland?
No, we're all very much Scots. My eldest daughter plays, and because she plays a lot of football, and amongst the majority of girls that are English, she don't know if she quite understands the magnitude they get into international football and decisions she's have to make. But no, in terms of where the allegiances rise, still very much in the Scottish camp.
Jack, just turn our attention to the game. What would you expect the weekend from Dundee?
Well, I think what James has is he has individual players have obviously proven quality at a higher level throughout his squad. Some I'm familiar with, some I know from obviously their reputation. So the Betfred Cup games today have been challenging for us because of how they've fallen in at national break and been having players absent from the fixtures. So we've continued to just try and navigate ourselves through the group. We've done so successfully today. This is the hardest game on paper, if you like, in terms of the level of opposition within the group. So we expect it to be a difficult match, but equally it's one that will afford us the opportunity to obviously win the group and progress to the latter stages.
What can a victory do tomorrow coming off the back of defeats at Tawdry and at Hampden?
No, I think that winning the games on Sunday is about us winning the group and progressing. I don't think in any way we are in any sort of negative mind frame because we've lost 2 matches. We've had a very good season to date, one that could still have been better, and that's if you've got demands of yourself and players to do that. But we want to get back to winning ways as quickly as possible, and the next game obviously offers you the best opportunity to do that, and that's what we've got Sunday. So we're not as far from panicking, but we want to get back to winning matches because in the main we've been used to do that in recent months.
How's the squad? Everyone okay?
Yeah, we obviously have Ofia, Alex, Ryan Porteous on international duty. Lewis, Ken McGuinness, Scott Allen still missing in terms of injury wise. So we're not flush with numbers, probably down to about 17. That includes 2 or 3 younger players. But as I said, we've managed to negotiate the group successfully today, and hopefully we can do that again Sunday.
Jack, forgive me. I thought this call was starting at 1:30, so I tuned in when you were talking about Scotland. So forgive me if you've covered this already. But in terms of last night's win being an inspiration to some of your players who've been already called up by Scotland this term, the likes of Porteous and McGinn, will that really inspire them to try and be in Steve Clarke's thoughts for the summer? And that'll do you good if they're playing out their skin to try and get noticed by him.
Yeah, I think very much so. I think undoubtedly the players that that Steve has used in the main within his squad that have taken them with qualification, I'm sure will be the ones that are in the driving seat for places in the squad. But as always, there are opportunities arise, and you know, Ryan and the two Pauls have had that very recently, and you know, we spoke about that this morning to them, that there is that very obvious incentive for them to continue to play well at club level, to give themselves a chance of being involved with their country at a major tournament. So I think that'll be the case for managers up and down the country. I think they'll love that. They'll use that as an extra motivation for the players to continue to impress at domestic level. And you know, as you've mentioned, the prize for performing well consistently is a huge one, because the opportunity to represent your country at a major tournament is one that in recent times hasn't come around very often.
Just in terms of Dundee, obviously they play in the Championship, but they've got some really decent players, really experienced players. I know they've lost Graham Dorrans recently, but the likes of Charlie Adams come in and looks to still be fighting fit and a really important player for them. What are you expecting from them in this tie?
I think just as you mentioned, we understand and are respectful of the calibre of some of the individual players that James has at his disposal, the level they've played at and the experience they have, and then the quality they possess. It's also on paper the toughest game we would have in this competition. I say on paper because we've had difficult matches in the tournament today, but this is the highest ranked club outside ourselves that we play in the group stage, so we always had ringed it as being the probably pivotal match in the group. So as always, a respect for the opposition, but equally, you know, believe that we've put together a good squad that by and large has had a positive season to date. So, and it's the incentive for us is obviously to win the group and qualify for the next stage.
I know you say that you're kind of over the cup disappointment semi-final from Hampden, but how nice is it to have another cup competition to try and kind of bounce back from that so quickly? You don't have to wait so long to try and get the kind of cup fever back among the squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that having the opportunity to try and progress to the last stages of the League Cup right away is nice. I think this season, with so many unusual events in it, that the opportunity, the fact that we've got two other cup competitions this season is encouraging as well, because we've earmarked that as always a potential way for us to win silverware. So we have taken this tournament seriously today, albeit we've had to use every member of our squad because of the challenges we've had personnel-wise, but we'll continue to do that on Sunday. And as I said, the incentive for us is just as big as it would have been to win the semi-final a couple of weeks ago, to progress to the last 16 and then beyond that.